Nezhmetdinov carried his fresh momentum through 1958. At Vilnius, he served as captain for the Russian Federation in the USSR Team Championships. Under Rashid's leadership, the underdog RSFSR managed third place out of 9. Nezhmetdinov also garnered the bronze medal on first board, finishing ahead of Paul Keres, David Bronstein, Yefim Geller, and Isaac Boleslavsky. With the black pieces, Rashid overwhelmed Grandmaster Boleslavsky by shattering his kingside in a trademark assault. In 1959, however, Nezhmetdinov began to feel the effects of his age in relation to his competitors, or so it seemed. During the opening ceremony at the USSR Championships in Tbilisi, Rashid learned with regret that at age 46 he was the oldest player in the field. Perhaps the only bright spot was an artistic win with the white pieces over David Bronstein, who proved unable to withstand yet another irresistible kingside attack from the Tatar master. All the glory in this tournament, however, would belong to hometown favorite, Tigran Petrosian. The Iron Tiger delighted Tbilisi fans by triumphing over a particularly strong field, including the young Turks Tal and Spassky. For his part, Nezhmetdinov opined on his own disastrous performance. "You think you are close to success. All of a sudden, everything falls to the ground. Your hand is empty. The Firebird has flown to another." Nezhmetdinov's slump lasted almost 2 years, but he refused to indulge in despair. He was well known by his colleagues and friends for his oft-repeated mantra, "Our day will come." And so it did, in 1960, although in somewhat unusual fashion. Mikhail Tal had begun preparations for his World Championship match against Botvinnik. Everyone knew that Mikhail relied heavily on his friend and countryman Alexander Koblenz for preparation in opening theory. However, Tal startled the chess world by asking Rashid to join his team. In 1960, I asked my friend Rashid Gibyatovich to help me prepare, and I think this move was surprisingly successful. Nezhmetdinov was not a theoretician in the conventional sense of the word, but his ideas attracted my attention with their paradoxes. At first, they proved very dangerous for opponents. Mikhail Tal. And so it was that Rashid, often acting as a sparring partner, helped his friend become the chess champion of the world. A few years later, 6-time Leningrad Blitz champion Genrik Chepukaitis arrived at Tal's door for an appointment to play chess. When I knocked, there was a tall middle-aged man I didn't know. I knew that Tal sometimes traveled with his Uncle Robert, so I thought it was he. I accepted his invitation to play to pass the time. I was crushed in the first game, but when I lost 4 more games, I almost began to panic. It was very rare for me to lose in such style, going down in flames like the Russian fleet at the Battle of Tsushima 1905. I could accept being crushed by Tal himself, but by his uncle? Generic Chepukaitis. Only later, when Tal returned, did Chepukaitis realize he'd been crushed by Rashid Nezhmetdinov. "1961 would prove to be yet another renaissance for the Tatar master. He finished second to Mark Taimanov at the Chigorin Memorial Tournament in Rostov-on-Don. Rashid got off to a slow start, however, in his quest for a 6th RSFSR championship in Omsk. Only by surging in the second half did Rashid manage to join a group of 5 tied for second place, behind Porogaevsky. A clear second had to be chosen, because the top 2 would earn a spot in the next USSR championships. Nezhmetdinov triumphed in the tie-breaking mini-match over Vladimir Antoshin, Anatoly Lyin, and Lev Bilov. Rashid had earned his ticket to the 29th USSR Championship in Baku. Though Rashid only managed 19th place, he won still another brilliancy prize in his 3rd career victory over Mikhail Tal. Rashid, white to play. Commentators were so struck by the beauty of this game that they dubbed him Evergreen Rashid. Tal was so overwhelmed by Rashid's art that he later told a journalist that, "This is the happiest day of my life." Sadly, the next decade brought little success to Rashid. He did compete in his 5th USSR championship in Kharkov, 1967, but this was an unusual event. It was not difficult to qualify, since 130 players were invited to play in a Swiss tournament. The idea was to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the October Revolution by allowing mass participation in this year's championship. Even against such a diluted pool of talent, Nezhmetdinov just barely scored over 50% to share 27th place with 14 other players. Tal, who shared first with Porogaevsky, joked that the Swiss system is good. We should adopt it again for the 100-year anniversary of the revolution. In 1973, Nezhmetdinov traveled to the ancient city of Daugavpils to compete in the Latvian Open. Rashid was now 60, and his hard-living past was catching up with him. He fell ill during the tournament, managing only shared 3rd against a less than stellar field. He did not finish his last game. I am both sad and pleased that Rashid Gibiatovich came to my home in Latvia for his last tournament. He did not take first place, but the prize for beauty, as always, he took with him. Mikhail Tal. Nezhmetdinov did indeed add a final brilliancy prize to a long, long list of games for the ages. Rashid, Black to Play versus Karushev. In the last few years of his life, however, Rashid did not abandon chess. He continued to coach the Kazan chess team and gave many simultaneous exhibitions. He worked especially hard on cultivating the development of young players. Rashid became mentor to a whole new generation of Kazan chess masters and enthusiasts. As Kazan historian Lilia Sabirov explains, Nezhmetdinov maintained his optimism and good cheer to the end. He lived in Bauman Street, above the grocery store near the church. He often walked to the old city chess club. You could go right up to him with a greeting, and he'd turn to you with raised eyebrow. "With whom do I have the pleasure to speak?" he'd say. And he'd discuss any topic, chess, literature, history, just about anything at all. Lilia Sabirov. Rashid Gibiatovich Nezhmetdinov died in the summer of 1974. And his legacy has proven vexing for many. Why, for example, did he never become a grandmaster? Some say he was discriminated against because he was a Tatar, or a Muslim, that he was not given as many chances to play abroad. You'd never hear anything like that from Rashid himself, however. I came into chess too late, a 17-year-old old man with no theoretical training. Yes, I could play some games with brilliance and win prizes for beauty and creative content, but I was never able to achieve the holistic skills necessary for Grandmaster level. Rashid Nezhmetdinov. Perhaps Rashid's legacy is best explained by his fellow masters. If he had the attack, he could assassinate anybody. Yuri Averbach. Rashid Nezhmetdinov is a virtuoso. David Bronstein. No one understands combinations like Nezhmetdinov. Mikhail Botvinnik. Nezhmetdinov? He was, to the highest degree, Grandmaster of chess beauty. Max Euwe. Players die, tournaments are forgotten, but the works of great artists are left behind them to live on forever. Mikhail Tal.